All right, guys, for the month of July, we already have the SPY heading up towards its monthly expected move. We have the Qs already pretty much there for their monthly expected move. We have things like Apple going above their monthly expected move. We have Tesla going above their monthly expected move. We have a lot of other ones that are looking like they're pointing towards their monthly expected move. So we got to do some technical analysis for the SPY Qs, Apple, Tesla, Amazon, Nvidia, AMD, and Meta going forward, and AMC and GME. We got to look into those as well, because something like this, Bitcoin giving a little different look, saying, hey, I might be rolling over on this monthly MACD soon. We have to pay attention to it. Either way you look at it, whether we go higher and continue this mess for a long time, just means there might be a big drop. Either way you look at it, this is terrifying. So let's get into it, starting off with the SPY. Over here with the SPY, I just first of all wanted to mention, hey, some quick things on the monthly, but let's see if we're able to go up towards that monthly expected move. Okay, so the monthly expected move, we're heading up towards it. We're going to give you new weekly, daily expected moves, everything like that on Sunday. So make sure you are subscribed. Hit like on the video for your boy over here. I really do appreciate it. You guys are fantastic about that. Thank you for hitting that like button. It really helps out the channel. But the thing we still need to keep in mind, we said the craziness could continue for a long time. Now, why did we say the craziness could continue for a long time? Well, because this is still forming, and it may even just not, complete. We have to pay attention to what's actually going on. You just know at this point that this is a debt-based move. This is all debt at this point. All this is debt at this point, and we're in for something a little bit rough if we're able to complete this signal. And that's why I first of all just really wanted to talk about the divergences here on the MACD and RSI at the same time. They're still there, even though we're going extremely higher, and we can continue that for a little bit more time. But I think that's going to come to an abrupt halt soon, and I think Bitcoin might be telling us a little something about that, okay? It might be telling us something about that. So we're going to look into two things here, which is Bitcoin going to actually confirm this turn down with divergence on the monthly scale here on the MACD and RSI at the same time, and end up down towards our purple zone, down towards that 14,000 or 13, I think it's 13.6K, all the way down to $3,000. That's pretty much the zone where I will be accumulating some Bitcoin possibly if this is able to confirm. We're seeing some weakness in Bitcoin, but we haven't seen that in the market. They're kind of doing the opposite of each other right now. So we're paying attention to that because Bitcoin sometimes does lead the market. Now, one other signal that I want to pay attention to for the market is US oil. You notice this on US oil when we actually based out down here in 2020. Okay, that thing actually saw a run up. What did the market do? It actually ran up as well. Okay, so for the most part here, the stock market is higher as oil is still higher compared to 2020, and the stock market is higher as well. So we have to see how the market is going to react if oil actually starts to turn up on a monthly. Hey, we talked about investing. We need to add investing to both of the courses that I'm putting out there. And that course is only $100 for like 2 days. Get it while you can. Seriously, it is a good time to take it over the weekend. Learn some stuff. Learn how to trade this stuff. Learn about these MACDs and learn how to manage your trade so you can know how to get out of moves, because this market is rigged. You got to know how to manage a trade. Everything in the course will teach you. If you have questions about it, please come to our live show. Now here, this is getting above all of the moving averages, piling up. And look at that, a swing trader would eat this up. We have a little bit more time in the month, 25 days actually left in the month as of right now. But if this curls up in positive territory, we might see oil go nuts, which is kind of crazy to think about. We might see inflation go nuts, and then you look around the world and you see how many countries are actually dropping our dollar, the petrol dollar, the dollar itself. A lot of countries are just giving up on their dollars. We have Japan, who might have to get rid of all of their treasuries in order to really save their inflation there. And so this is something to be worried about, because we could see US oil catch a big bid here if it's able to cross up on that MACD, which tells me inflation, maybe even some hyperinflation, might be around the corner. So we have to be aware of that. We have to be aware of things breaking in the system, because we have Bitcoin telling us, hey, the market might crash down, and we have US oil saying, hey, I might curl up, which means kind of two things. It means, is our assets then going to become inflated as oil becomes inflated again? Or are assets going to react to the fact that there is more inflation and start to drop off, kind of like Bitcoin? So it's kind of a confusing time for that, but we just want to pay attention to the signals. The monthly signal here has not completed, so we have to pay attention to that. Now we're going to go a little bit closer here to the daily side and say, can the monthly expected move be hit next week? It can. Just so you're aware, it can, because you're crossed up on the MACD. Okay, you're crossed up. You confirmed more upside for the SPY on Friday. July 5th. And so you can head all the way up towards that monthly expected move. Now you have to pay attention to reversal signals in this area. You have a divergence right now, and this move is real because the dollar actually went down while this move was happening. So this move is real at this point. And boom, this right here is what you're looking for some kind of reversal. This would be your bearish case. That rolls over. We'll pay attention to that. But as of right now, you got to say, hey, it's crossing up positive territory. A lot of things hitting their monthly expected move. So you can't rule that out. Now, if you go over to the Qs, you're going to see a very similar thing, but it's even closer. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the Qs at least come test that level of about 500 because that's right where that monthly expected move sits. But I just want you to know we're pretty dang early on in the month, right? We still have about 3 weeks left, and we're already up towards this area, which means 68% chance that we do close within these yellow lines. And so since you're hitting this one very early, by the end of the month, you could end up very, very low. So we're paying attention to this going forward. You see the daily divergence here, and then also on the monthly, you know, comparing it to Bitcoin, you still have these signals. It's just Bitcoin's actually starting to roll over. So right now for the Qs, you notice they're up towards the monthly expected move. They're past the yearly expected move, by the way. I just wanted to mention that. This thick red line right here is the yearly expected move upside, and that's as high up as we're supposed to go for the whole year. And if you want to see the 68% chance, well, how low can you go for the whole year? Well, 326.76. That is a big drop. So you're getting excited to the upside. We're seeing more of a blow off top. You're seeing more and more inflation of these assets, as I believe they inflate the assets to help fight against AMC and GME, because it is flipping the script, guys. It really is. But I just wanted to point out once again, hey, look at this. We do have divergence on the Qs as well. We're still starting to come up to where it's almost even actually, but it is down. You see that on the RSI, it is down. So if that curls over at any time, it's not going to be good news. And you just hope like, hey, maybe this is able to base out at some point and turn back up over time. Still looking at the daily scale for what's going to happen before the election. But right now you'd have to say, hey, it's not looking pretty if this curls over for the next couple of years for the Qs. Now, as we go into Apple, this is a big move higher, and we're seeing it cross up on a monthly MACD. So this one right here told us, hey, positivity, we're seeing more positivity. That's that monthly momentum really taking over here, ending outside of these weekly expected moves pretty often, a lot of stocks. So this is a time where you have to be very cautious using those weekly expected moves. You have to make sure to see those reversal signals and know how to manage your trade in case something rigged is happening, because you can see crazy things outside of those expected moves, right? 68% chance of landing in them, 32% chance to see something crazy. So right now, Apple is seeing something crazy outside of a monthly expected move right now. So we're paying attention to it. And this right here tells me, hey, if this curls down at any time, hey, this wasn't the moment. Maybe this one is, as we are now creating a bigger point of divergence across the way. And you see it over here on the RSI. So if this isn't going to add up to anything, hey, Apple can just keep going. It's crossed up on that monthly MACD, but I'd just be aware if that curls over, see how the month actually ends. As we go into the daily chart here, I just wanted to go into a daily real quick and show you guys how there's divergence in the nearest price action going into Monday. Now you're ending at the high of the bar, so you have to take this divergence with a grain of salt, right? We have to take this divergence and this divergence down here with a grain of salt, because this is curled up and positive, and you have that monthly momentum with you, and you're closing at the high of the day. So that is something that can be pretty bullish. We could see gap ups, we could see just higher moves. We'll see. We'll go into the shorter time frames on Sunday in order to look through and see what kind of scenarios could come up, what kind of things are curling up, what kind of things are curling down on Sunday. So make sure you're subscribed for that. But at this moment, we would say, hey, the divergence is there, so we have to be aware if this curls over. You can see some weakness, and I'm guessing that goes all the way back down to retest 197.47 if this is able to confirm. Because even if this confirms, I don't think the show is over. I really don't, because this is still far away from the center line. So we'd have to see like a flash crash in order for that to happen. But if this curls down, curls back up, positive territory, maybe something around earnings is going to take off. Remember, 50-50 flip around earnings. We'll pay attention to that as it comes along. Now, Tesla, this one's a little bit different, and I'm still looking to see if this has some kind of short seller problem, because this thing really, really took off. It built up liquidity for a long, long time. We talked about that, and I said, hey, it's going to be a big break up or a big breakdown. That thing breaks up, curls up, positive territory, positive move. Awesome. Now, the monthly scale here is where I want to pay attention, because this is outside of the monthly expected move, but you're closing above all of the moving averages, you're seeing something crazy. You're outside of that monthly expected move right now, so you do have a 68% chance to drop back below that. But Tesla is showing you, hey, I might want to curl up on the monthly scale. This one in the past was known to have a short seller problem. Actually, Tesla was something. They don't really like Elon Musk. They probably don't like the fact that he's being more of a free speech person on Twitter, right? He's turning Twitter into more of a free speech area. And so they do not like Tesla for the most part. And I would not be surprised if there is a short seller problem on this stock. So if that monthly curls up, we might be off to the races, and Tesla could see a big move. Okay, it's done this for a long time. It's been in this for a long time. If you wanted to maybe spread out that triangle like this, well, it can see a big move if it closes above all these moving averages. Just be aware that by the end of the month, you still have that 68% chance to land back below this area right here for Tesla. But pay attention if that MACD curls up, because hey, that's just how you invest. It's great. This is the MACD saying, hey, I'm curling up, going towards positive territory, contrarian bullish signal, and then that could immediately go positive, and Tesla starts to see a huge rip up. So we'll pay attention to that going forward. But at this point, we have to take it with a grain of salt and be like, let's see how the month ends, all right? Now, Amazon, this one here, going up towards its weekly expected move the past week. This one here had a lot of signals going on. You have the divergence still on the MACD and the RSI at the same time. You even have triple divergence on the RSI right now if we're able to turn around. So this could mean we're going to see some weakness in it. Now, we'll have to pay attention to the daily scale, because this one is not, I believe, is not outside of its monthly expected move. And you're making another point of divergence right now on the daily RSI, but not necessarily the best look on the MACD. So something that could end up happening from here is maybe we see some kind of drop down, and then that curls right back up, you know what I'm saying, by sometime in the fall. And then that's actually where we experience some weakness. We don't know how this is going to play out, so trade like water. Remember, just move around those rocks, be adaptable, be willing to flip-flop, because you're never always going to be 100% right, and therefore you need to know how to manage your risk, and that's what we teach you in the course. All right, so Amazon, I'd really look out for this daily to cross over. It could signify some significant weakness with the kind of divergences all across on the RSI. You see those down there on the RSI just pointing down. So if there is extreme weakness, well, I'd really pay attention to this level. I think we have a chance, if there's extreme weakness, actually to see some kind of bounce right here, and then we see that weakness continue. We'll see, but breaking through that 166.12 is going to be very important for Amazon, and I'm really just playing the signals here. If this is able to curl down by the center line, curl back up at earnings, okay, we might see another big move higher for Amazon. Now, Nvidia has been a little bit lagging behind, it seems, on everything. So Nvidia has been struggling a little bit. You've kind of been compiling up in this area, so a big move is coming. Whether you like it or not, a big move is coming. So we have to pay attention. If that daily crosses up, hey, we can test this high, go make a new one. But if we go look at the monthly scale here, we're way up in no man's land. So a bigger overall pullback on the monthly scale would make sense. And that usually means, hey, if Nvidia is going to sell off, then it's not going to be a good sign for the SPY and the Qs. So if this is able to cross over, that's not going to be a good sign. But you notice it's still far away from the center line. So if you curled over just for a little bit, maybe went down to that, you know, 95 or to the 20 on the the 20 on the monthly, or the 9 on the monthly, that would make some sense. Curl over on that MACD, curl right back up. So we're still paying attention to positivity. We're never going to just say this is going to flash crash all the way down. Even if there is some kind of crash, I think it'll be in the form of a bear market, and that is something very, very hard to trade in. Now, look at the weekly. The reason that I'm very hesitant on Nvidia lately is because at least some kind of bigger pullback looks like it's coming on the weekly scale. And the reason I'm saying that is because you don't necessarily have the divergence on the MACD, but you do on the RSI, and that is something to really worry about. And remember, this is what is holding down AMC and GME. A lot of the stocks that we're looking at now, they're using those stocks to hold down GME and AMC right now. It's because this is their collateral to pay for the problem. So really expect some funkiness to continue, but we could see some fireworks very, very soon in the month of July, because things are getting way too excited, way too fast, and you have a lot of divergences, including this weekly one on the RSI that says, hey, I'm going to pull back, and then maybe I have another upward move that goes all the way up into October. We'll see about that going forward. Play the signals. We watch things very closely, and we put out a video every night, so make sure you're subscribed and tune in for Sunday. All right, AMD, This one here on the weekly scale, if this weekly starts to turn up, you can see some positivity. Why? Positive territory. So if the weekly is able to turn up here, hey, you can test these highs. You can go make a new one actually for AMD. So we may be in a time where money starts to leak out of NVIDIA and back into the other guys, right? So what do we want to pay attention to? Well, the monthly scale. The monthly scale here still has the big divergences all the way across. You have triple divergence all the way across. Now, maybe you need that divergence in the nearest price action because that happened way back here in 2021 and you're getting that point over here. It's still pretty close, but maybe we need to pull down for just a little bit as well and see that thing curl back up. So we'll see what goes on with AMD, but if this thing curls down, bad news. That's kind of your bearish signal. If the weekly turns up, good news. All right, that's a positive signal. So we're paying attention to AMD very closely. Meta, this one here, climbing up, climbing up, climbing up. And let me check. Let me see if that one's at its weekly expected move too, because I'm pretty sure it's pretty close. I think it's almost there. Yeah, it's a little bit off. Actually, you have about, what is that, 25 points left for this move. So this move still can go higher, and you're not necessarily seeing the divergences that you saw in the other stocks. So when you don't necessarily see those divergences, all you see is a small one on the RSI right here. I think Meta actually is a very rigged one and might end up seeing some of the most pain. Because the last time during 2021, when we went through that bear market, this thing saw a ton of pain. And I think that's going to happen again. I'm just being genuine. I think that's going to happen again. But you don't have the big reversal signal. So maybe this is Meta telling us, hey, there is one more monthly curl up. There is one more monthly curl up going into 2025. And maybe it's spring of 2025 that this thing all times out. That is overall what I see from Meta here. Looking at the daily scale, what do we notice? We just curled up on that MACD. We're not necessarily making the best divergences anymore. So as you break through to the upside, you close at the highs. Meta can see another upward move, and the highest it's supposed to go for the entire month is about 25 points higher. So pay attention to Meta here. We'll look at it on the shorter time frames on Sunday. All right, let's get into AMC and GME. Let's look at these on a monthly scale. Are they still turned up? Well, yes, they have turned up, which tells you that the momentum on the monthly scale is higher, and it tells me, hey, this thing is, if it remains above that 9 on the monthly, this thing might be a decent investment. That's how we look at this right here. If we go look at the weekly, this thing's going to be turning up towards the center line. So if the weekly turns down, that's bad news. If the monthly keeps going, hey, that's great news for AMC. The most important signal you need to happen here is going to be a daily curl up of this MACD. It really is. The daily side needs to curl up to confirm that. I was watching this towards the end of the day. It kept confirming and unconfirming at the end of the day. So this here, you're closing above all the moving averages again, except for the 200. You take back that 200, okay, you could be off to the races, and we'll get you that level on Sunday that kind of says, hey, we're in a gamma squeeze. Okay, so once you get out in that unexpected area, you can see buying beget more buying. And that's what's going on in a lot of the stocks you see in the stock market. So you're looking for that same thing to happen with AMC. It's just when that happens, if shorts have to cover, you might see this thing just take off and explode. We all just saw the cost thing. It's in the same basket as AMC and GME. So it's in the same algorithm as AMC and GME. So this thing could just be a matter of time before AMC actually sees that pop. Daily momentum has to be with you to see that. Speaking of daily momentum, you need that for GME very soon because GME is starting to cross that center line. So it's weird to say, but if it wanted to see positivity, if you were kind of like, hey, you know, when's the area where it really needs to cross up to see that positivity? It's right now. It's literally this week. So this week, we need to see this turn up on that MACD. You're above the 200. You just need to get above all the other moving averages. Right now, you're below the 20 and the 9. You need to get above both of those. We'll get you that new range in order to see if that gamma squeeze is happening, or this would be another area, by the way, to point out. Above this gamma squeeze, if you see this area getting tagged, you might see that as a fight again with the short sellers. So that's very important to understand. We're going to get you that new level this week. And if we look on the monthly scale, is this saying, hey, I'm an okay investment? It actually is. It's still saying like, hey, I'm pretty good, because it's curling up on the monthly MACD, kind of like the other ones we just talked about. Hey, if Tesla curls up on a MACD on the monthly scale, that's a positive move. Now you're seeing what GameStop start to turn up on the monthly scale as it hits the 200 back in April and back in May. So if this is able to curl up, get above all of the moving averages, we could go positive, and that might see a big positive move. And so we're paying attention to this. Notice that all the other stocks look way up high, and that's the ones they're trying to get you to buy, as they are completely overbought on a monthly scale with divergence. They're trying to get you to buy stocks with MACDs up here. And I'm just saying, I think that the overall statement that most investors know is buy low, sell high. And buying at the MACD up here is called buying high, just so you are aware of that. This right here is low right now. Do what you think. You got to do your due diligence and really just focus on if you can understand the problem, if you can understand how this works, if your emotions can handle it. But at the same time, all you'd say is, hey, monthly is turned up, and we're still turned up as of right now. So unless that turns down, pretty bullish look there, pretty contrarian bullish signal that could go positive from that guy there. Now, one thing I just wanted to show real quick was the dollar here on the monthly scale. It is turning down again, but it looks like it could cross at any time. I just wanted to show you on the daily scale how this move is real. You're seeing the dollar come down significantly, and that move is real. So can you see it continue? Yes, you can. But you really want to be aware of whenever that dollar is going to turn around. Maybe it can gain some ground at this 200, kind of like we did over here. And maybe we go down to that area and then we see that thing curl back up. We'll pay attention to this. This isn't happening right now. Right now, the dollar is saying that people are putting money into stocks. That's what it's overall saying. Even though you're seeing money leak out of Bitcoin, you are seeing stuff flow into stocks pretty much across the board right now. So you have to pay attention to that. This is overall still in a bullish signal because the dollar is coming down while the market is going up. That is the correct correlation, guys. So I just wanted you to be aware of that. Look for that to reverse around at any time. The volatility is what I really wanted to talk about here on the daily scale. First off, daily scale, look at this on Friday, huge bullish move, but volatility popped higher. So I'm very worried about this going forward. We saw the 2-hour divergence that could rotate up this daily chart, and look, it's starting to rotate up. So if that thing goes positive, you might be in store for some volatility. Notice the last time that it really went positive was right over here on the daily scale. What did we see? Some big volatility come in. So you might be in store for some volatility right away next week, unless the craziness continues. But like I say a lot of the time, volatility can go up while the market goes up. Okay, it just means bigger swings, bigger implied volatility pretty much for stocks out there when this goes higher and the stocks go higher. So it just tells you if volatility keeps creeping up and creeping up and creeping up, you could see a big swing down at some point. Now, I did want to point out this on the weekly as well, because I want to show you how drastic this can really get. Okay, you have the daily creating those divergences which say we're about to go positive. And then if those go positive, well, then what if this weekly divergence starts to play out as well? This weekly divergence is there. That can pop up and go positive, and that is going to be a huge sell-off signal. We really haven't gone fully positive on the weekly scale from a negative point to positive in since 2021. So 2021, this is when the crash was happening, right? The bear market, I guess. The bear market was happening. And look at that volatility remain higher here. So that's what I'm saying you're seeing now. If this fully goes positive here, this can be a lot like this situation in the past, right over here. So we need to pay attention to it. We need to be on our toes. It doesn't mean the rigged market can't continue up. It just means eventually we might turn up on this monthly scale and just keep turning up for volatility. So I wanted to show you how big this volatility signal is and how much you really need to pay attention to it, because if this thing starts to turn up, you're getting really tight down here, and you could just see that turn up very quickly, and we might be in store for another bear market. Be careful out there. So the main takeaway here is things can go higher. They can go higher. You still have room left for those monthly MACDs, and they are rigging the market to go higher and trying to convince you to hold the bag. So I'm just very cautious with any kind of long plays. Yes, I'm still going to take plays, but I'm going to be very cautious with my long plays, and I'm still going to be cautious with my down plays. They're rigging the market to go up, so I need to know how to manage my trade in order to know, hey, is this move turning back up into positive territory? Okay, I need to manage my risk here. I need to get out of this trade, blah, blah, blah. Like, that is what we overall teach you how to do on the 30-minute, on the 2-hour, and on the daily chart in the course right now, and it is very, very helpful. So if you don't know a lot, about managing your risk, it's pretty much like 90% of traders out there don't know how to manage their risk, manage their trade. And therefore, if you're able to learn how to manage your trade, sure, you're going to have some losers, but it'll make you lose less money. It will help you keep money in your account to keep playing the game, to take those better signals, those better setups that will work out for you eventually over time throughout your whole trading career. That's what's happened to me. I've learned how to manage my trade. I still have losing trades, but I'm able to use that money to then make money over time, because you kind of say it like this: I'm just proud. It's just as good as a win. So I'm just proud of myself that I didn't give all of my money back to these rigged market makers. That's the overall statement there. So just look for it, because you could be seeing some upward moves still, but we do have signals forming right now that say something big is happening. Didn't happen in June. Will it happen in July? That's the overall question that we have to see throughout the month of July as we get excited for a lot of stocks out there. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for liking, subscribing. I really do appreciate it. Thank you guys for showing up on your weekend. If you're dedicating yourself to some learning by getting the course this weekend, it's only $100, and I really respect you for that. Make sure, even if you're taking the course, to set aside some time for your family. Make sure you're relaxed and ready to go for the week ahead, because we've got a crazy market ahead of us, and it looks like AMC and GME might have a move this week. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. All right. Hope you guys have a good day. Good luck trading. I'll see you guys on Sunday for the shorter time frames and those weekly expected moves. Other than that, enjoy your family out there. All right. Peace.